Hey guys, how you doing? So I just wanted to share with you today how I'm teaching some of the guys to do snatch. So the snatch, or power snatch is the version that we use, is an excellent move to develop power. It sits on that speed strength side of the continuum, and you can load it very much like you would load squat jumps. It might be really appropriate for you as a player, or it might not be, depends on the training phase, your training history, your injury history. So suffice to say, it can be a really useful exercise, just like all exercises can be, but it needs to have its time and its place. So one of the problems that I noticed was the guys were making contact with the bar at the hip, which is good, but the bar was really loopy and it was going too far away from them, which affected like how much load they could use, their expression of power. So basically, their technique was off, so they couldn't express their full power because they were having to chase a barbell. So one simple little drill to tidy up that skill, and remember, the back squat, the bench press, the power clean, the power snatch, it's a skill that you can practice and get better at, and you need to treat it as a skill sometimes. Yes, we also are trying to get adaptations of strength or power or whatever, but don't forget the skill element, and there's a skill acquisition element, so it's okay to break down these drills and do derivatives. So here's one drill that I was showing to the young guys, and I wanted them to overemphasize raising their elbows up like this. Previously, they were giving more of elbow flexion and more of a curl, which was making the bar get away from them. Whereas if we're elevating our elbows and getting into the scarecrow position and over-exaggerating it when we're practicing, then it sort of gets them in the groove and allows them to turn that bar over better than they were before. So if you've seen my 10 power exercises for rugby, you know that snatch from blocks is one of the power exercises that we cycle in from time to time for certain players. We've got back rowers that can do 80, 100 kilograms. Again, we're not professional weightlifters here, and we're using it to chase a specific adaptation. But for the younger guys that were just learning it, we kept it light, 40 kilograms, and I wanted them just to get used to that pop. So for the power snatch or power clean, I always use the reverse chain method in that I start at the end and then work my way backwards. So for the power clean, for example, we're looking at, can you hold the front rack position in a high front squat position? For the power snatch, can you hold the overhead squat position in a quarter to half squat and just be comfortable there? And from there we go on to the high hang position. In this case, that's just bending the knees slightly, having the bar in the groove of your hip, and then jumping. So on the snatch, that's the start of the second pull, and that's the sweet spot. That's where the bar needs to get to every single time that you're pulling from the floor or pulling from a low hang position. So once the guys have that anchored, that position, and they're really comfortable there, I'll then tell them to go slowly down into the low hang and then come back up to that second pull position and pop the barbell. Now again, we're just doing this slowly initially to make sure the skill element is right, and then we can add the speed. Okay, so yes, we always want to do our power exercises as fast as we possibly can, but sometimes there's a skill element to it. So it's a case of we're going to drill the high hang snatch position, get really good there, get comfortable jumping and catching there, and then we might start to go slowly down into the low hang, back to the high hang and pop. Now once that's looking really good, of course we'll just add speed. Then we might go from the floor or we might go from blocks. It really depends on the person and the loading and what we're looking for from the session. So guys, hopefully that's helpful if you're learning the snatch, or there's some players out there that have always kind of had a little bit of trouble with the snatch. It's really about positioning and making sure the bar gets to the right place on the hips, and of course making sure you're not doing reverse curls and using your shoulders to turn that bar over. With my guys here at Yellow, we always tend to do power variations, so power clean, power snatches. That's not to say that the full clean or the full snatches aren't appropriate. Some players we do cycle that in and out. Just depends on the player, the time of the season, the phase of training, etc. Guys, I hope you found that useful and took something from the video. You might want to try that drill where you're doing the 1-2 pull and then pop, as in you're jumping and turning over the bar. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Ciao.